There's nothing that frustrates me more when I scream about how great a movie or a TV show is and no one listens to me. And then years later it becomes a hit. It happens all the time. And it's happening now with Will Smith and Margot Robbie's film Focus, which is now #1 on Netflix. I remember back in 2015, I saw that in the theater. I said, man, this film was great. Now, this is when Will Smith was doing like a whole bunch of dramas, and some worked, some didn't. But this film worked. And maybe it's because people didn't want to see Will Smith in dramas. Maybe because they didn't know who Margot Robbie was. I knew who she was because she had just did The Wolf of Wall Street. Maybe they didn't like the interracial angle. I don't know what it was. I remember telling people, like, man, you got to go see Focus. I remember I telling some dude this. I said, hey, man, have you seen Focus? And he gave me the whole Brother Man from Martin Day. Nah, I ain't seen Focus. I'm still watching that Tyler Perry joint. It's fire. It's like, no! No! Watch Focus! But the great thing about Focus, because of Focus, no spoilers. It's a thriller, but it's a heist movie. It's a con movie. It's Will, it's Margot, BD Wong's in it. BD Wong is fantastic in it. And Will Smith is a con artist. He takes Margot Robbie on his wing, and then they become romantic. To me, it's like one of Will Smith's best roles. But I remember that time period. That was that time period where there was rumors that Will and Jada might have gotten a divorce because Jada had done that medical show with Mark Anthony, and there was rumors that they had messed around, because if you watched that show back then, they had some really intense love scenes on that show. And I don't know if it's just on the TV or it spilled over in real life, but there was talk of Will and Jada divorcing, and then there was photos while Will was making Focus with Margot Robbie. There was some infamous pictures of them in a photo booth, and it just looked like they were having a good time with each other. It's like, I was like, oh, I said, man, Will Smith's going from Jada Pinkett to Margot Robbie. That's nice. But no, because I remember people a couple of years ago, I saw something on Twitter and people were saying, oh man, Will Smith fumbled Margot Robbie. He technically did. I mean, Will was still married to Jada. And if he had divorced Jada back then, man, it would have been ugly. And because there was no prenup, it would have been horrible. And plus, Margot was already with her boyfriend that would become her husband. She got married in 2016 and she just had a baby. So with the same guy. So Margot was already with her guy probably when they were making Focus. But if I was that dude and I saw those pictures of Will and Margot, I would have locked her down too. It's like, oh no, Fresh Prince, you ain't getting this. But then Margot and Will, the next film they both did was Suicide Squad. At that point, even I felt like I know the chemistry they had in Focus, and then when I saw them in Suicide Squad together, like, oh, well, that must be, because usually you don't go back to back like that. Usually when an actress and an actor go back to back like that, there's something going on there. But there's been no confirmation of that. But yeah, they went back to back on that, and they haven't done anything since. I don't think I've ever seen them pictured together since. Going back to 2015. I mean, let's say Will did leave Jada. It would have been horrendous. And I think he probably should have divorced her back then. Because think what's happened after that. If he would have divorced Jada back in 2015 or 16, the whole red table talk, even though Jada probably still would have red table talk, but he probably put a gag over on it for she couldn't say certain things. And then the slap wouldn't have happened. And then he wouldn't be banned by the Academy Awards for 10 years? They'll probably fix that. They'll probably amend that after a while. All this drama has happened after they didn't get divorced in 2015, 16. And again, they just, Will said he hates the idea of divorce because I think he came from divorced parents. His first wife filed for divorce. I don't think he wanted that divorce, even though she was probably the best woman that he's ever had in his life because she was low key and she actually cared. But he was all hot and bothered for Jada. And I get it. Jada's cute and fiery and all that stuff, but nah, he needs a real cool chick who got his best interest, but she's not. It's not a lot of drama, but they're still together, right? Bad boys for life, ride or die. But man, if you haven't seen Focus, please check that film out. I mean, and I look at this picture of Margot Robbie. It's like she had a fuller face, like she was still brand new in Hollywood. She did. I forget she did a soap opera over in Australia. and then she was on Pan Am, that Pan Am TV show, and then her first film was Wolf of Wall Street, and then her second film was Focus, back to back. Fantastic film, fantastic duo, fantastic chemistry. I wish they wouldn't make another film together. But let me ask you this: what film? Because this film came out in 2015, came out people are not finding it 9 years later, just like Suits. Oh my God, have you seen Suits? Yeah, years ago. What film have you seen on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or any streaming platforms that you either heard about but never seen, or never knew existed, but once you saw it, you was like, oh my God, how did I miss this film? For me, that happened 6 years ago. I've seen other stuff since, but 6 years ago, I saw Paranormal Activity. Now, it came out in 2007. I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to horror films. I can watch them and be cool, or watch them and scream like a little girl. But for some reason, I can't remember why, I ended up watching Paranormal Activity. That film was great. Because sometimes the scariest films are the ones that seem like they're real. And again, it was like that Blair Witch type situation where it's like, oh, we got this footage of what happened in his house with this couple. And that one scene where his wife is standing over him for hours in the middle of the night looking like this. 4 hours just standing there. Creeped me out. When she was dragged with a demon or whatever, dragged her out of the room. And then the ending. I was like, oh no! That ending messed me up so bad. I've never watched that film again. Paranormal Activity is tremendous. I don't know why I didn't watch it in 2007. But then I saw it, in 2018, and it's like, oh my God, I should have saw this film way before. And I think that's the first film that Blumhouse did. Blumhouse did the latest Halloween movies. They did Get Out. They did Us. They did The Nun. Oh man, Blumhouse, they're the kings of horror, man. Low budget, great script, make a lot of money. Fantastic film. So what film have you seen in recent years that's more than maybe 3 to 5 years old? Let's say a film that's 5 years, that came out more than 5 years ago. You finally saw it for the first time. And you was like, oh my God, how come I didn't see this film before? Oh my God, how come somebody didn't tell me? Now I'm the dude telling everybody, go see this film. Go see this film. But yeah, what film have you seen that you didn't know existed, did exist, but didn't think it was going to be that good? And then you saw it's like, oh my God, it's like one of the best films I've ever seen. And if you've seen Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie, tell me what you think. If you saw it back in 2015, tell me what you think. And if you saw it recently, tell me what you think. Will Smith didn't fumble the bag with Margot Robbie because she was already attached, but he probably should have tried. I'm just saying.